Alright guys, how's it going, Eastbayanglers? Today we're talking about the worst things about the California Delta. So today, this video is, everybody who's been out there, we all have experiences out in the California Delta. And a lot of them are good when it comes to fishing, and a lot of them are not so good when it comes to running into a lot of people out there, or a lot of situations where things just aren't, they don't appear safe, or they may not be safe. And we're going to talk about some of the things I just don't like when I'm at the Delta. And the first thing is, if you're not familiar with particular locations of the Delta and you want to venture out further, you've always got to be wary, not only of when the tide's going out, when the tide's coming in, the boat prop, and everything else. It is a dangerous place if you're not aware. So be aware and know the Delta, or research the Delta a bit before you venture out. Everyone has a weapon almost of some kind out there, so that's another thing to consider. It's extremely hostile place. Some people are getting drunk, some drug addicts out there and stuff like that, but there's a lot of weapons out there. And I usually just have a cleaning knife, but most people out there, they're carrying, so that's something to keep in mind. I mean, for the most part, one of the reasons I'm not a big fan of the Delta is it's really hard. Like, the Delta itself is hard on your gear. It's hard on your reels, your lures, your rod has, basically for me, I literally have to clean the entire, I have to soak down the reel, the rod, and the lure. I have to clean them. That salt water is going to erode and just do more damage than fresh water to my gear. It's going to need to be cleaned out. And if you really want, your stuff to last, clean it out, as often, if not every time you use it. So another thing we're gonna talk about here today is just the theft. A lot of people get their boats stolen in the Delta parking lots and the launch areas, and a lot of gear gets stolen, trucks get broke into, and it's just one of those things. You're walking, you just pull up, you get all your gear, you're walking to your spot. It's a bit of a walk, and on your way out, there's like people that are just hanging out in bushes, or just things that don't look too, and then you're supposed to go out and enjoy your day. A lot of people have experiences out there that are really scary, and a lot of that has to do with people drinking and driving on the water. A lot of people really speed on the Delta, so it's extremely dangerous in the regard of just blind spots and turns, and people just running around. I mean, they're literally not just using boats, but all kinds of different watercraft. It's pretty endless. So all that considered, the other thing I really hate about, well, let's not say hate, let's use it. I'd have to say I hate the fact that there's just as much trash out there in the Delta as there is, because a lot of people use the Delta itself to dump things, to dump garbage. You'll see a lot of garbage dumps out there, which is really wrong. You'll see a lot of stuff out there that just gets dropped off. You'll see a lot of, you'll know that a lot of people drop stuff off in deeper water. So there's refrigerators out there, mattresses, TVs, microwaves, TV. I mean, just you name it. It's down there at the bottom of the Delta. Somebody has thrown away, they've been throwing away garbage in the Delta for so long, and getting rid of appliances, and sometimes even more terrible things that really create a problem long term, polluting the water, and essentially, you know, we have to try to keep an eye on that. Everybody talks about different reasons why our water source isn't pure, but part of it is human pollution. And if we could just stop dumping things in the California Delta, and I mean, at this point, I mean, cleaning some of it out isn't a terrible idea, but I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get to a lot of that stuff that's there deep down. The cost would be quite beyond what anyone would be willing to pay. Other guys, you know, I've met, they've actually had, you know, experiences where they've been shot at out there, and guns have been pulled, and threats have been made. You know, in that regard, that's just not a fun environment for me. So California Delta bass fishing, it can be fun if you know the Delta, you know the tides, you know where to go when. It can be a lot of fun. There's other times when you don't want to be in certain areas of the Delta, or you don't want to be at certain areas of the Delta at all. There's certain areas of the Delta where more trouble occurs and less trouble. But keep in mind, it's always nice to go out in the Delta with a buddy just to be safe. And if you're out there alone, try not to do anything too crazy just because there's no backup. Your phone may be with you, but that doesn't mean it'll be functional or you'll be able to use it in a case of emergency. You guys really need to consider that. And I'm sorry I've stressed so much on that, but that's so important out on the Delta. As far as like snakes and things of that nature, I've done all kinds of things. You know, I've never had any issue with that, really. I mean, they're out there, but I've never had like a big problem with any rodents or snakes or really anything like that. You know, so it's one of those places that you're definitely going to want to keep a couple eyes open. No, both eyes open, you know, and the ones in the back of your head. So go ahead and you know, go to the Delta. It's a great place, one of the premier fisheries on the West Coast. Definitely it has declined in the last 20 years. That is not a, that's a fact, and it's been recorded for the last 20 years to have declined. And unfortunately, I don't see anything except it continuing to decline unless the, you know, state itself and the people that are running things in the state start to take things more seriously. The funny thing is they'll talk about global warming and all these things, but that's just one part of the picture. Even if global warming is real, it's just one piece of the puzzle, and they're not willing to sacrifice those dollars put in their pockets to actually do it on a large scale where it can actually make an impact and, you know, change the way that we're doing things for the better, you know, meant of the future. So, all right, guys, stay tuned. I hope that, you know, pretty much helps you guys out.